To anyone that is craving love right now, I have a very sincere message for you. And that sincere message is dating won't solve your problems. A relationship is not going to fix your life. The only thing that can fix your life is you. It's you finding purpose, it's you finding meaning, it's you finding fulfillment in your life. I'm not saying that love can't be a part of that. Love is a beautiful thing. Relationships are a beautiful thing when they're actually good and healthy. And it's a wonderful thing if you happen to be lucky enough to find someone to go through this journey of life with. I think that's a beautiful thing. However, it's not the end all be all. It's not the only thing that should be in your life. It's not the only thing that should be able to provide you happiness. I actually have a question for you. And that question is, how satisfied are you with your life already? If you're not already satisfied with your life, if you're not already happy, if you don't already feel fulfilled, this is not going to do it for you. This is not going to fill that gap. This is not going to fill that void. A lot of people tend to think that if they were able to find love, if they were able to find some person to be a part of their life, to get into a relationship with, that somehow magically their life would be solved, that they would become complete, that they would become whole, that they would feel this sense of fulfillment. No other person can provide that for you. This has to be something internal. This has to come from within. You cannot expect for somebody else to come into your life and make you feel whole and make you feel complete. That's a lot of pressure to put on a person. That's a lot of pressure to put on anybody. And you shouldn't do that. It's not healthy. It's not real. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't be dating. I'm not saying that you shouldn't try to find someone to be in a relationship with. I'm saying that you need to get your life in order. You need to feel as if you are whole in every other sense of your life first, before you seek out another person to join into this life that you are living. And more importantly, you need to have a relationship with yourself that you enjoy before you invite another person to enjoy this relationship with you. You get what I'm saying? It's like, do you like you? Do you even like you? Do you even care about you? Do you even think highly of you? If you don't think highly of you, what makes you think someone else is going to think highly of you? And even if they did think highly of you, would you feel as if you were a fraud? Would you feel as if it was like this was love that was being given to somebody who didn't deserve it? Unfortunately, a lot of times when people are seeking out relationships, they're trying to fill a void. They're trying to fill a void that they have in their heart, a pit in their soul, in which they feel like, I'm not receiving love. I don't feel as if I have self-esteem. I don't feel as if I'm validated. But you can't have someone else do that for you. Getting into a relationship is not going to build your self-esteem. It's not going to build your self-respect. It's not going to make you feel as if you care about yourself more. You're just going to be in a relationship now. That's all. I mean, I want to ask you, for the sake of argument, if big booty Instagram model all of a sudden came out of the sky and was just like, hey, I want to be your girl, or, Michael B. Jordan, or some, Channing Tatum, some guy, somebody who's perfect is like, hey, I want to be your boyfriend. They just come flat out the sky and they're like that. Are you happy enough with yourself? Are you content enough with yourself? Do you feel as if your self-esteem is high enough for you to actually accept for them to be liking you? Or would you feel as if this was misplaced? Would you feel as if it was like, why on earth would you like me? I mean, literally, think about it. For the sake of argument, the perfect girl comes around, the perfect guy comes around, and they actually like you. They actually want to be with you. Do you like you enough, right? Do you like you enough for you to be able to handle it? Is your self-esteem high enough for you to be able to be like, yeah, I accept it. I accept that they're with me. This matches, this works. No. Your Prince Charming or your princess is like, they can't just come out of nowhere and accept you if you don't accept yourself. If you feel like your life is in shambles. Because if they were to come and they were to tell you that they liked you, you would be so insecure about the fact that your life is not in order that eventually you would scare them off. You would be so insecure. You would be so insecure because it's like, okay, if you don't got the right job, you don't got the right career, you don't have a passion, you don't have a purpose, you don't have hobbies, you ain't got no friends. Your apartment's in shambles. Your mental health is in shambles. Your physical health is in shambles. Just how long would it take for you to look into the mirror and be like, why does this person want me? I don't deserve it. I don't deserve it. I don't feel like I deserve it. I want you to think, just how long would it take for you to become insecure? Just how long would it take for you to look in the mirror and you see yourself with a couple extra pounds that you want to lose and be like, man, she could have anybody in the world. Why does she want to be with me? How long is it going to take for you to go and look at your apartment and it's a mess and it's the damn, you live like this meme? And you thinking he could be with any girl with a nice apartment, who's tidy, who's clean. I'm not tidy, I'm not clean. My life is in shambles. Why would he want me? And this isn't a perfect case scenario in which this perfect person was to fall out the sky and tell you they wanted you as you are right now. I'm telling you, you wouldn't be able to accept it. You would feel so insecure. You would feel so inferior. You would be constantly comparing yourself to all the other endless choices out there of other people that are in better positions than you. But in reality, you can fix yourself. You can change. You can upgrade. You can work on yourself until you feel worthy enough to meet your match. Be the best version of yourself so you can meet the best version of someone else. You know, if you're not happy with yourself as you are, you shouldn't be hoping that somebody just comes and accepts you as you are. I'm not saying that we're not always going to be on an endless journey of changing and upgrading and updating and evolving through life. That's always going to happen. But I'm saying a lot of times when people are craving love, when they're craving relationships, when they're chasing some sort of fantasy of being with somebody, is because they don't feel as if they're good enough, and they think that if they get with this person, it would make them feel great, that it will make them feel good, that all of a sudden their life is perfect, all of a sudden they change for the better, all of a sudden everything is just what it needs to be, it's in perfect harmony. But that's a fallacy. That is a fallacy. That is a fairy tale. Fix yourself. Your life in itself should be satisfying on so many different layers and so many different levels. I want you to think about your life as if it was a layered cake, with every single layer representing another layer of satisfaction within your life. You know, do you have a layer of friends? Do you have a layer of a friend group, some companions, some people that you go out and you do activities with, some people that you will be able to spend time with outside of someone that you're in a relationship with, so that this person is not your sole emotional anchor? You know, do you have a layer of a good relationship with your family? Do you have a layer of hobbies? Things that you like to do by yourself, things that you like to do alone, things that you do not require another person in order to be able to do. Something that you just simply love, something that you just simply enjoy, something that you have a good time with. Do you have that in your life? Do you have the layer of goals, long-term goals and short-term goals, things that you want to accomplish, things that you want to do, dreams that you want to manifest? Do you have the layer of purpose? Something that makes you feel as if this is the reason you were brought on this earth, the reason why you breathe, the reason why you exist. Something that you're going to follow no matter what, even when the going gets tough. Something that you're always going to be working towards, something that you're always going to feel passionate about. Do you have the layer of health? Do you have a fitness routine? Do you have a specific diet that you're following? Are you healthy? Is your physical health in order? Do you have the layer of mental health? Are you mentally stable? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you see a therapist? Do you journal? Do you meditate? Do you take long walks in the park where you just think? Do you have moments to yourself where you're just in solitude? You need these things. You need these layers. You know, there's all these different layers on this layered cake, and a relationship needs to just be one of those layers. It should not be the only thing that makes you feel fulfilled. It should not be the only thing that makes you feel whole. It's just a part of it, you know? I'm not going to say that it's the cherry on top or it's just the frosting. It's just another layer. Yes, it is another layer in the cake, and it is just as important as all the other layers. But if you don't have any of those other layers and you just have the relationship, it's like you don't have a layered cake. You don't have a fulfilling life. You don't have a well-rounded life. You just have this one person that you're relying on to be your sole source of happiness, your sole source of feeling validated, your sole source of feeling as if you're loved. And that's a lot of pressure to put on one person. A relationship will not solve you. It will not heal you. It will not fix you. They are wonderful, but that is not what they are for. They are merely an extension of a life that is already fulfilling. That's all it is. It's just another layer of that cake. It's another layer of life that you are finding some sort of joy and happiness from, but it is not the sole thing that you find joy and happiness from. Because unfortunately, a lot of times when you do make that your source of happiness, if you're with the wrong person who is incredibly manipulative and they understand that this is a weakness for you, they control you. They control you. You know, your validation that you get from them, it's like a saloon door. It swings open and out. They are in control. They can giveth and taketh away. They are in charge of your happiness. They dictate whether or not you're going to have a good time, whether or not you feel worthy, whether or not you feel validated, whether or not you have high self-esteem. You know, you don't feel pretty unless he say you pretty. You don't feel like you got any swag unless she say you got the swag. You got to already be feeling that. You got to already have that within. That needs to be internal. This needs to be something that comes from within. You need to already feel that. Don't seek it externally. Do not seek it externally. Develop your own locus of control on the inside and say, I'm going to fix my life. I'm going to be a better person. And I'm going to attract the kind of person that I want into my life by being that better person. And besides, relationships are not a walk in the park. Relationships are hard. They're hard work. Even if they are fulfilling, even if they are wonderful, even if they are grand, relationships are difficult. Relationships take sacrifice. They take an assessment of someone else's needs. They take for you to understand that somebody else might be going through something at a certain time. Somebody might be feeling something at a certain time. You need to be able to give people space. You need to know what is somebody's love language. You need to understand your own love language. You need to understand, what kinds of things set me off. What are my boundaries? What will I not tolerate in a relationship? But you also need to understand, what are the things that I do that might be getting on somebody's nerves. A relationship is not going to fix that low self-esteem. It's not going to fix that messiness. Dating is not going to solve that bad health. Dating is not going to solve that lack of fulfillment, that lack of purpose, that lack of drive and motivation for you to want to get up and do something. Again, if you don't feel worthy, if you don't feel as if you are worthy as is, if your self-esteem is not high enough as is, if you don't accept yourself as is, and you were to meet someone and invite them into your life right now, you will drive them away. You will drive them away with your insecurity. You will drive them away with your low self-esteem. You will drive them away with your negative energy. You will drive someone away, but not because of your deficiencies, but because of how you feel about you. Because you don't like you. Because you don't understand you. You don't feel great about you. So how can you expect for anybody else to feel great about you? And even if they did feel great about you, it just wouldn't work. You're going to be so down on yourself. You're going to feel like they deserve someone else, someone better. Let me ask you a question. If you feel as if you are a loser right now, do you want to be a loser with a girlfriend? Do you want to be a loser with a boyfriend? Like, seriously, is that what you want to be? Do you want to be a loser with a mate? Even if they're the perfect mate, do you want to be a loser with a mate? Like, yeah, I got this great girl, but like, I ain't got nothing else going on in my life. It just sounds wrong. It just sounds like the wrong way to be living your life. It's like you want to be fulfilled. You want to feel as if you are the best version of yourself, or at least working towards it. Don't be some schlub who's looking for a relationship to fix you. Don't be the guy or the girl who's hopping from relationship to relationship to relationship to relationship because you don't want to face yourself, because you don't want to solve your problems. You don't want to sit down and look inward. It's not going to do it for you. You're looking to fill a void, but it's never going to fill it. Only you can do that. Only you can bring that peace to your life. Stop running away. Stop running away. I'm calling you out. Stop running away. Stop running away from your problems. Yes, it's okay to crave love. It's okay to want to be in a relationship and to want to meet somebody. That's perfectly natural. It's perfectly human. It's perfectly normal. I'm not shaming you based on that. I'm not telling you that you shouldn't desire that. But I am telling you that you need to face you first. You need to fix you first. You need to heal. Some of us honestly, truly need to heal before we try to invite someone else into our lives. Before we try to get somebody else to come and be a part of our world, we need to heal. We all have these mental and emotional scars, these wounds that have been passed down to us from different afflictions that have happened throughout our lives. All these different things that have affected us and affected our self-esteem. This could have been bullying. This could have been some sort of abuse. This could have been some sort of misconduct that happened with a family member. It could have been neglect from a parent. You could have been a chubby kid. You were the fat kid growing up. You could have been the poor kid growing up. Maybe your parents used to hit you. Maybe you experienced seeing domestic violence growing up. Maybe you saw your dad cheating. Maybe you saw your mom cheating. Maybe you've seen a history of addiction. There's all these different emotional wounds and scars that we need to heal from. Like we truly need to heal before we try to bring somebody else into our world. It's not fair to them if we have not processed our emotions. It's not fair to them if we have not figured out what it is that pains us. Because then you bring that into your relationship. Even if you don't repeat the cycle of what you saw, you will bring that negativity that you're still harboring into that relationship with the next person. You're going to always be talking about your trauma. You're going to always be talking about this thing that happened to you that you're not over yet. And it's okay that you're not over it. It's okay that you need to heal. It's okay that you need to fix yourself. But fix yourself, heal. There are so many broken people who are honestly just going around and making more broken people by reinforcing their wounds on other people. They are taking this pain and they're taking this hurt and they start afflicting it onto somebody else. You know, they pour their insecurities onto someone else. It's just not right. Hurt people hurt people. Misery loves company. People want to spread their brokenness onto you. Which also goes into my next point, is that a lot of times when you're seeking out this relationship or seeking out some sort of love, a lot of times you'll be trying to heal a broken person. You're trying to fix someone. You're trying to solve someone. Even if you're not trying to fix yourself, you're trying to fix the next person. You're trying to help them get through their trauma. You're trying to solve their problems for them. They got to go through their life the same way that you got to go through yours. It's not your job to fix anyone. It's not your job to tolerate bad behavior. It's not your job to tolerate insecurity from someone else. You might have a good heart. You might want to help. You might actually really be altruistic. But at the end of the day, they need to heal the same way that you need to heal. You need to develop healthy boundaries within yourself before you try to embark on some sort of relationship. You need to know exactly where you draw the line in the sand, what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. What will you absolutely not tolerate within your life? Stop accepting any and everybody who wants to be with you just because you're alone and you don't want to be lonely. Stop trying to fill that void. I understand it can be hard to be lonely sometimes. It can be hard to be alone. But don't tolerate disrespect. Don't tolerate any sort of bad behavior just because you don't want to be alone. And I'm not saying to judge anybody either. Judge the behavior. Don't judge the person. We've all been through a million things. You know, we've all been programmed based on our experiences. And I understand that sometimes people do some dumb stuff. Sometimes people hurt you. But a lot of times it's not based on them. It's based on what happened to them. They're still responsible for it. It's still their fault. But don't judge them. Just judge their behavior. And don't tolerate it. I want you to be able to get into a relationship if you truly want one, if you truly desire one. But I want you to get into it for the right reasons, and I want you to get into it the right way. I don't want you walking around with rose-tinted glasses and missing every single red flag because they all just look like flags. You know what I'm saying? Take the rose-tinted glasses off. You need to be able to recognize what color the flag is. You need to be able to recognize whether or not somebody is good for you or bad for you. And understand that attraction fades. Looks fade. What you're left with is the person. What you're left with over time, once all that goes away, once you start getting wrinkly, once you start getting old, you get your gray hair, you get saggy skin. Who is that person? Who are they? You know? Are they a good person to be around? Do they make you feel good? Do they encourage you? Do they uplift you? Do they support your goals? Do they support your purpose? Do they match your life? Do they match your standards of life? Are they an extension of everything that you want to represent within your world? If that's not the case, then you shouldn't be with this person. Look, just because they look good right now, they got the big old booty right now, you know, they tall right now, tall, dark, and handsome right now, they got the six-pack right now, they got the big boobie right now, you know, tiny waist. It doesn't matter in the long run if they're an ugly person on the inside. If they're not a good person on the inside, if they're not somebody who you truly want outside of the looks, outside of the aesthetics. Beauty isn't everything. Aesthetics aren't everything. Image isn't everything. Wealth isn't everything. Money isn't everything. You know, there's all these different things that people hinge on to try to get into relationships with. Oh, well, he's wealthy. He makes a lot of money. You gonna tolerate him treating you that way just because he makes a lot of money? Oh, man, but she bad, though. That booty is outrageous. So you gonna tolerate that behavior just because she got a big booty? Nah, man, have more respect for yourself. Have more respect for yourself. At the end of the day, if a relationship is what you want, if that is what you desire, my only request is that you fix yourself first. My only request is that you feel fulfilled, that you fill every layer of that cake of life with something meaningful. I want you to feel as if you are worthy. I want you to have your self-esteem on a high. You know, take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. You need to engage in every aspect of self-care. Are you taking care of yourself mentally? Are you taking care of yourself emotionally? Are you taking care of yourself spiritually? Are you in tune with your feelings? Are you in tune with your emotions? Are you in tune with yourself? Do you know yourself? Do you love yourself? Do you like yourself? Do you care about yourself? These are the important questions that I want you to ask yourself before you decide to try to get into a relationship or try to find love. Find love internally before you find it externally. Become the person that you want to be, or at least be working towards it, before you try to invite somebody else into your world. Don't think you need a relationship to be somebody. Don't feel like you're lonely. You are always with somebody. You are always with you. You are always with yourself. You know, everywhere you go, there you are. You gotta always deal with yourself. You gotta always deal with your problems. You gotta always pick yourself up and move on and change and grow and evolve. And that is with somebody or without somebody. Love yourself before you can love somebody else. But hey, that's all I really wanted to talk about with y'all. You know, I really hope that you are able to find love if you're searching for it. But, you know, I just had to tell you that I really appreciate you from the bottom of my heart, because realistically, you could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. And I appreciate that. So much love. I hope to see you in the next one. All right, peace.